it's totally changed me. The way I think, the way I live. So if it could do that for one other person, then that's really why I'm doing this. I've suffered with anxiety for 20 plus years. It fluctuates from super intense debilitation to, where I can function normally. And when I was in the real bad space previous, I said to my wife mentioned this, and I thought if it happens again, I'll come and try it out. I've had to increase medication over this last 5 years, and that was really the only sort of thing that helped. But when the last time when it really peaked, I was like not having, because I hate taking the medication. I didn't want to increase again, so I decided to come here. And actually, since I've been coming here, I've halved my medication, so I'm nearly off it. So I started to get really heavy, intense anxiety, panic attacks, where it was interfering with my day-to-day routine, just constant, basically. Yeah. So I came in to have, I think there was like an $80 trial, and I sat down with Ryan and then totally felt something different. I'm usually pretty skeptical, so I wasn't expecting much, but I went somewhere else, and yeah, I've been coming since then. I think I was really peaking with anxiety at the time, and I wasn't expecting anything really, because nothing else has really helped before apart from medication. And when I was in the chair, I can't remember exactly what happened, but I just knew I was somewhere else. And then when I opened my eyes at the end of it, it was very, very strange feeling. Yeah, it's very hard to describe, but definitely different. So I might get a strange feeling in my stomach, and then I've got bowel cancer immediately. I have to go for tests, blood tests to the doctors, until they prove to me that nothing's wrong. I've had it with lung cancer, asbestosis, brain tumours, all these things. Just, yeah, it's one after another. It's kind of like once I realise, okay, I don't have that, what now can I have next? Something else terminal. So, and it just plays on a loop in my mind, and I get more and more convinced that I'm dying, and I start to generate my own symptoms and Dr. Google and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, it just takes your life away. You can't concentrate on anything. I've got 2 young kids, can't engage with them correctly, puts loads of pressure on my wife, she's great, but it's not really fair. There's been times I haven't been able to go to work, been in tears, it just affects it in every facet, really. Everything's so difficult, even the simplest tasks can be daunting. You just think you can't do anything. Yeah, it's horrible. It's been real bad the last 5 years, but I've had it since I was probably 13. The health stuff's only been the last 5 or 6 years. What triggered that, I had my back, and where was I going at the time? Chiropractor told me she was worried that I might have some form of cancer, which really triggered it. And from there, every time something's wrong with me, I'm just convinced that I'm dying. Previous to that was more sort of the body anxiety, the unable to concentrate, the fear for no reason. But I sort of dealt with it up until I started getting the health anxiety, and then there was nothing I could do about it anymore. Probably 2 or 3 sessions in, I distinctly remember I went out for breakfast with my wife and kids, and usually I'm on my phone or something just to occupy my mind, and I just felt myself sitting there just watching my kids play, and just nothing going on in my mind, which is just unheard of for me. Usually it's just crazy in there, but that was the first time I really noticed. And then since then, when I have had anxiety, it's very fleeting, and it just seems to subside straight away, it's so much more manageable, and like I said, I've decreased medication. It's still not coming back. So I'm still the same, very similar, focused, driven, all those sorts of things. But I just find it so much easier to be me now, instead of fighting to be myself in my own mind. Now I sort of just am. Whereas before it's a daily battle to be who you are, not just who you want to be, but who you actually are. You're constantly fighting with thoughts that aren't really your own. It's not nice. My memories, my son's 3, turning 4, and I almost have no memory of the first 2 years of his life because of the anxiety, because you're in an alternate reality all the time. You're not engaged, and my wife says, you know, do you remember this or this? And I have no clue. It's like I wasn't even there. And now with my daughter, she's only 5 months old, I just feel like I'm so much more involved in that part of her life, whereas with him, while I was there physically and doing everything I could, I have no memory of it because mentally I was elsewhere. Yeah, so to have the opportunity to engage with your kids, that's all there is in life. Yeah, so it means everything. My other friends that have struggled with anxiety, same thing. The memory it's horrible, and then you feel like you know, I failed because I can't remember, or was I there? You know, did I do everything I could do to be a good father? And that's just, I hate that feeling. You know, nothing else matters more than your children, obviously. So to be able to have that memory and realise that you're there, engaging and helping in them, you know, those foundation stages, you know, to help them grow, it's great. So many people don't want to speak about it, and that's really, really detrimental, because you need to speak, you know, even if for whatever reason they weren't getting anything out of this, at least they'd be focused on talking about it and realising they've got a problem. So I think taking a step towards doing anything is great. You get this 45 minutes, hour of just complete calmness, and it just helps. No matter what else you get from it, you still get that, you know.